All right, Barrett Jackson did me dirty. I don't know if you know the backstory.
Oh no.
I sold a yellow Ferrari at the Barrett Jackson auction. They didn't say anything positive about the car. They only represented the disclosure, the negatives to protect themselves, which absolutely crushed me. I've reached out several times. They never responded back to me through phone, through email, nothing. No one has helped me. They don't care about me. Not a big deal. Whatever. I'm moving past it. But what they did do is force me to cancel and remove all my videos. I'm going to get into that in another video. Today's video, I'm sorry to say it, but they are crushing me while I'm down. I am going to repost those 2 videos of me selling the Ferrari and then also my reaction video, which if you've already watched it, thank you. I'm gonna repost it again, and that's why it's going to be reposted. Barrett Jackson made me remove them. That's a different video that I'm gonna get into in a minute. Today's video, we're gonna go back to Barrett Jackson because I wasn't the only one that just gave away vehicles. There were a lot of cars there that sold for far too cheap, which means maybe I should just go and buy things from now on and not sell. The commissions kill you as a buyer or seller. But we're gonna go to the auction, look at the last day after the aftermath of the auction, see what cars sold for, and then we're gonna give you an ending. I'm gonna give you a teaser into our next video and some of our series coming up. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Let's run over to the auction. This is a cabriolet. Let's go check it out over there. And here is an all-original 1972 Ford Bronco that belonged on a ranch in Texas. This truck was really, really neat because it is original aside from these roll bars right here. This is the original paint with the original patina. Now, this was owned by a farmer on a ranch in Eden, Texas. That is the original sticker for this vehicle. You can see the original paint chips here. Everything is unrestored, which is really cool to see something like this on the road. You can see the Texas Lariat badge, and the dash is still original. We have column shifter or floor shifter. That must be the 4x4. That must be the column shifter, I'm assuming. Really neat. This vehicle sold for $27,000. And it's neat to see an original Bronco still on the road. And that's about the going rate that I see these things selling for. Versus the Blazer driving by right now that's sold for over $70,000. Now, as you can see, a majority of the vehicles are already gone. They're lowering the tent. So anything that was left under this tent has been moved over there. There is a Cadillac Escalade ESV over there that I love. I'm not going to show it to you because I already saw that on Hoovie's video. This in a manual transmission from the movie Kick-Ass, which I think I showed you in another video of this series, and have done an entire video on that from the Mecum auction.
Meet the Mr. Mobile. Mood lighting right there.
Now, I swear I've seen this Monte Carlo here before. I think this is a 1988 Chevy Monte Carlo SS Custom Coupe. Cars sold at the Barrett Jackson auction last year for $17,000. From 20 feet away, that car looks amazing, but up close, there's a couple things I want to show you. Now, I bumped into the previous owner or somebody that saw it a year ago that saw this car sell for $17,000. This year, it sold for $12,000. And the reason I remember this car, if you look at the lower valance, you can see the orange behind the chipped paint. Also, even though this is a pearl paint, the Monte Carlo was painted over. The whole car was just taped off poorly to paint the vehicle. And you can see just overspray on everything. And then going to the inside, the dash and everything was just spray painted white. It wasn't even sanded down. This is a rough Monte Carlo, but it's for sure 20-footer from 20 feet away. That's a really nice looking car. Just up close to the trained and untrained eye, not so pretty. Now, both myself and Tyler Hoovie did a video on the Caprice or the Buick Roadmaster already. The Caprice and Roadmaster were sister cars. This is a 1995 Buick Roadmaster estate wagon that sold for $20,000, has 42,000 miles. The Red Mist that I have done a video on already sold for $35,000. So I know that seller wanted near 70 online, which means I'm not the only one that took a bath this weekend. I know Hoovie was interested in this Cadillac Escalade ESV that sold for $25,000. I am a sucker for these. I think they're some of the best vehicles ever built. They're comfortable, they're classy, they're rigorous. They're GM trucks. When GM made a decent truck, these are 250,000 mile vehicles all the time, and it is spotless underneath. I think the real winner of this auction were these 3 vehicles by Hard Up Garage. Now that the auction's over, we know what they sold for. They were sold in a package of, even though I put up 2 fingers, 3. So all 1, 2, 3 were sold. That's the worst. That was the one that was wrecked. I think it was flipped over after a bomb went off in the movie. These 2 have the turrets at the top. A total of $30,000 for the package of 3 vehicles. Hard Up Garage was around $50,000. $15,000 for them. 5 or 6 years ago, they've been sitting in a desert for years and years before they brought them all back to life. Took this much dirt off of all of them, batteries in them, got them running. I think one of them needed a fuel pump, shipped them all the way over here. All three together sold for $30,000. So they had a successful auction. And then right after that, they got to split and went off to Tavares on the other side of the state where they had fun with him. I was stuck here waiting for my Ferrari to go through. Another Scout that sold for $70,000. These have come up a lot in value over the past few years. And then shout out to my father's favorite car, aside from the Bandit Trans Ams and the 70 Camaros, the 1970 Chevy Chevelle SS 396 sold for $98,000. Here's another one. Let's see if my Ferrari is in here. I see a yellow convertible. Nope, that is a yellow Ferrari, but it is not the yellow Ferrari I'm looking for. They keep the high-end stuff in the cooled air conditioning big fan storage. This Ferrari sold for $390,000. I believe that's an SF90. This is a 92 Viper, first Viper ever produced. 93 went to mass production. 92 is really rare. The Murcielago, I did a video on this, sold for $257,000. What a beautiful car. What really threw me for a loop was this Mercedes SL 500. Now you've seen my saga with the Mercedes SL 500s. Neither were really great, perfect vehicles, but this one, and yes, this one is cleaner than my two, but they are still unreliable. The power steering goes, the alternators go, the suspension is linked to the power steering, the suspension fails on them, and the tops leak severely. This car still sold for $22,000, which to me seems incredibly high. We have two identical Shelby Series 1 Roadsters that sold for $100,000 and then $130,000. Now what makes that one worth $100 and this one worth $130? Is it the time they ran? Does this make it, is this one more rare? This is a 1999 Shelby Series 1 Roadster. It's powered by a supercharged 4-liter V8. It puts out 450 horsepower, has 4-piston braking system. Now this car does have just 986 miles, where this one has 2,300 miles. So does that make this one worth $30,000 more for 1,500 more miles? Am I missing something here? Now, when we talk about vehicles and dealers that lost some money, this right here was one of my favorite of the auction. This is a 1982 Chevy K5 Custom Blazer from Flat Out Autos. They did an amazing job restoring this car and making it perfect. It looks like a brand new 1982 Blazer. That thing, I know they were looking for $70,000 plus, but because it sold at no reserve, it sold for $50,000, just like my Ferrari did. This was one of my favorites, but sold for $40,000 in 1978 Datsun 280Z with a 2JZ swap and a full drift setup. That car was amazing, but $40K for a toy that really isn't comfortable on the streets isn't something I'm interested in. And for all of you Supra lovers, this right here is a 1998 Toyota Supra Targa that sold for $100,000. Supras are still pulling their money. And there she goes. That is what a $100,000 car from the 90s looks like. All right, so it's a bummer. We're back from the auction. The Ferrari is gone. I'm still waiting on a check. I'm gonna clear like $45,000 or $46,000 on a car that should have been $60,000 to $70,000 to $80,000, whatever. It's gone. I can tell you though that not only did they crush me on the car, but they also made me take down my videos. So you're gonna see some upcoming video repeats. I apologize for it. I'm explaining to you why now there are some video repeats. And then we're gonna get into this Lamborghini. We're gonna get selling on this thing the right way, not through the Barrett Jackson auction. I bought a house at a bank foreclosure, which is gonna make us so much money. I'm not gonna sell it, but we like walked into so much equity because I bought it at auction, which we're gonna show you how you can do. And then also my flipping to a first car for my son series is in action. And we're gonna go home. We're gonna go back to New Hampshire and buy a bunch of cars from my dealership and give an update on my dealership up in New Hampshire. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. If this was interesting, educational, informative, please subscribe, thumbs up, comment down below. I really, really appreciate it. Our next two videos are going to be repeats, but they're going to be altered and changed, so make sure to watch those. And then they did me really, really dirty. They really are kicking me when I'm down and breaking my spirit, and they truly are breaking my spirit. That is an upcoming video as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. Adios.